Hey, my name is Matt. Welcome to This or That, and we have one of my favorite comedians. His newest special, The Tennessee Kid, is streaming right now on Netflix from Old Hickory, Tennessee. This is Nate Bargatze. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm going to give you two options. You tell me which one you like, this'n or that'n. It's pretty simple.
That's right up my wheelhouse. Not complicated.
First option here, this'n or that'n. Would you rather eat barbecue from Brooklyn, New York, or sushi from a Mississippi gas station?
Barbecue from New York, because I would imagine those people moved to New York. I lived in New York for a long time, so there's restaurants that are southern that they moved and they're like, oh, we're bringing this southern thing up there. Sushi from a gas station, I don't think that's a down move if you're into the sushi business. I can't imagine things are going good and then you're like, you know what we should do? Introduce it to gas stations. I don't know if I'm going to be diving into sushi from a professional sushi place. If you add in a gas station, then it's bad news.
This or that, and give up sweet tea forever, or the only drink you can ever have for the rest of your life is sweet tea.
I would probably give up sweet tea. I love sweet tea, and I like it in the jug, like the pre-made sweet tea. But I'm a huge, I drink Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke, which is we call in the South, everything's just called Coke, and then you go from there.
What's your go-to bottle of sweet tea?
Milo's is the one that it's wonderful. My wife does. She makes good sweet tea, and then sometimes she'll be like, make it to be not sweet enough because it's like trying to be healthy. I just throw it out in the yard. Right when I drink it, I just grab it and throw the glass in the middle of the street. What are we doing? Let's just drink water. We might as well just drink water.
Would you rather have 100 mosquitoes in your house or one very angry possum on your doorstep?
A possum. You get built up to getting bit by mosquitoes. It's not that much of a problem. And then I left and I just remember there not being that many mosquitoes and I never felt it. And then when I would come back home, it's like I would get lit up by mosquitoes. You're just not used to it anymore. And so it just becomes a big, big problem. You just live with that possum. You probably have a side door. If you're in the South, you're not even using your front door anyway. So hopefully he's right there.
I'll take my chances negotiating with the possum. It might happen. Would you rather live with Andy and Aunt Bee in Mayberry or in the Golden Girl house?
Andy and Aunt Bee. I've seen every episode of Andy Griffith. I remember thinking that it was on air live. It wasn't until later you're like, oh, this show's from the 50s. I just remember thinking, you'd watch Nickelodeon and they're airing it, and you're like, this show is currently on now, and it's been off. By the time I'm watching it, it's been off for 20 years.
Here's a very classic, simple one: sausage patty or bacon.
Sausage links, I could say no to those. Sausage patty is pretty good. I think bacon, crispy. I like crispy bacon. If it's super crispy, I would go bacon. The sausage patties, I'd buy those ones, the frozen ones. I loved them. I thought they were great. I put ketchup on them. I use enough ketchup where if someone's around me, it makes them uncomfortable. I put that's how much ketchup I put on, where they feel they have to say something. I don't like the thick bacon. This one that's chewy. You ever eat at a restaurant and you're having to rip it like it's beef jerky? That's when the bacon tries to get too fancy. Bacon doesn't need to be. That's not fancy bacon up. It's good how it is. I've talked once about if you could go to one chain restaurant, which one would you only go to? I'm ruining this whole formula. You're like, no, we have the questions, Nate. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I think about all this stuff every day. It's just Cheesecake Factory. Because their menu's so big, they have everything. I love Applebee's or O'Charlie's. I love all that stuff. But if you go to Cheesecake Factory, they at least have so many different options that it's the one to choose.
It would take some convincing because I personally believe I could live off of bloomin' onions from Outback Steakhouse for the rest of my life.
I'm hearing you, and I get that. But here at Cheesecake Factory, we also do stuff like that. We are a big thing. I got to work for Cheesecake Factory.
I was about to say.
My last name's Cheesecake. I come from it's Nate Cheesecake. My dad's the Cheesecake Factory.
All right, Nate, that's all I've got. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, you can check out his 1-hour comedy special, The Tennessee Kid, on Netflix right now. Thank you, Nate, so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.